little bit of a trek to get to this gym, so I had to make a small pit stop. Needed a few key ingredients: water bottle, some kind of sugary drink intra workout. That ended up being a goddamn Snapple apple. Really, just whatever. And some deodorant because I forgot mine, and I can guarantee that after this leg workout, this shirt is going to be a dark gray. It's no longer going to be this nice bright, you know, nice dry color. I'm going to be fucking drenched, so I don't want to be completely stinking. And one more little life hack: bring a funnel. Bring a fucking funnel. Don't try to like bite the corner off of a little like Ziploc that you put 2 scoops of pre into and like try to somehow pour that into a little water bottle and then have it not really pour, and then you have to like stick your finger into it and like push it through. Let's just say something along those lines is not ideal. Really just fucking mix it up at home. But no, I'm extra fucking excited about legs. So this looks to be a pretty damn hardcore gym. So I doubt there's going to be a shortage of two things. For one thing, good machines, and for another, ideally, I mean, we'll find out. I'm raising the bar for it because this place looks pretty legit, but lifters as well. Because those two things combined can add to a pretty powerful environment. And honestly, probably more on the fucking lifter side of things. If I rolled up to a hotel gym and I looked to the left of me and I looked to the right of me, 280 pounders, relatively lean, going fucking crazy, I wouldn't give two shits that I've only got like 3 pieces of equipment and it's all like Bowflex basic stuff. I'd still be going bananas. But what I mean to say there is, if you're lifting around guys that are pretty fucking hype, odds are, if there's 5 guys going hard and you're the sixth, over time, you're gonna adapt. You're gonna match their energy, their intensity. And if you don't have a gym like that, if you're lifting at your YMCA and maybe you live in like Florida or something, and it's a little bit more inclined to accommodate for the elderly crowd. I've been to gyms like that. I'm the young buck, and everybody else is just using it really as a fitness center, as they should. But for me, that's not the most, you know, hype-inducing kind of thing ever. You almost feel a little bit out of place. So if you're spoiled enough to have a gym reasonably close to you, which is like pretty fucking legit and full-fledged, I think you've got to stop there every so often. And that's worth the membership, man. I mean, I guess it depends on the person, but that's worth the extra $40 to go to like the Metro instead of just like the Planet Fitness. For one thing, just to use different machines, but for another, just to be around a different environment. Because it's I think it's just human nature, but we get very desensitized. We acclimate to our environment very fucking quickly. So you could be walking around all day in like let's say you got kind of an old pair of shoes, walking around totally like normal. You're like, yeah, this is totally normal, whatever. You put on a fancier pair, you never want to go back. You realize you've been like, oh, I've been missing out a little bit. And I think the same thing applies to the training. If you've been training if you look around and everybody's training at the same intensity level as you, then sure, you're like, oh, I fit the course. My puzzle piece goes right here. I match with everybody else. Perfect. If you show up to a gym, and even if there's just a couple guys where it's like, they're serious. You don't have to ask them. That that the guy's focused. He's not just texting on his phone the whole time. He's actually into it. That should give you a little bit of a feeling. Not like it's not a particularly like crazy positive or crazy negative, but it should give you a feeling of like, oh crap, man, this guy's on it. Am I? Am I on it? So that's where I'm always, I guess not as much now because, I mean, just due to the fucking pyramiding, that's what I'm thinking of. I mean, the bigger you get, there's less guys as big as you over time. So I'm kind of spoiled now. A lot of the times I'm one of the biggest guys at the gyms. But whenever I'm at a real gym and there's an actual fucking beast, I'm talking making me look small, you know, that'll get me going. That gets me fucking hyped up. So that's all I'm trying to say there. Really, if I'm trying to consolidate my pre-leg day thoughts, it's I'm excited. I'm ready to throw some shit around. I'm ready to sweat. And I'm ready to fucking play some loud ass tunes straight into my fucking ears to get me hyped up to do so. So let's just stop chatting about it and actually get in there. As predicted, it's a fucking nut house in here. This is insane. There's two guys behind you. We should talk to them in a minute. Oh my god, making me look like a beginner lifter. But that's just hyping me up to go harder on this set. So, light-ish squeezing, double leg, rather simple opening. A few more. Same style, same everything. Ish. Okay. One more. God damn. Quick fucking anecdote. Look how simple this leg curl is. There's no fucking crazy fancy adjustments or anything. And it feels perfect. Dude, we gotta return to a fucking minimal approach to equipment design. That's how I feel. Okay. I was gonna move on to like a fancy sitting, like single leg curl machine or something like this, but didn't feel as good. So instead, I can come back here. Even though it's kind of made for double leg, you can just take one leg out of the equation and just do single leg shit. So, fucking no need to move anywhere. This would be an alternating set as well. Oh my god. That's maybe my strength. Oh. Couldn't find my phone. Let's change it up. Squeezing seated curls. The line curl was like, yeah, I've had enough. There we go. Okay. All right. Oh. I think that might actually be enough for fucking hamstrings. I'll think about it for a minute, but might be time to start quads, man. I'm looking at a lineup of 6 leg extensions. And upon inspecting each one individually, this one came out on top. So instead of my normal alternating style, I'm just going to burn out completely with the left leg, then completely with the right leg. And the weight isn't too crazy because this is a working set, but it's also kind of me getting warmed up before whatever kind of squat I end up doing first. So kind of a two-parter. No. All right. Let's go press something. All right, so heavy pressing feels kind of scrappy, man. I think I might have overdone it by jumping straight into some crazy squats last leg day. My left knee is a little tender. Not to the point of, I feel like I totally ruined it or anything, but it's not going to be in my best interest to try to go crazy weight-wise today. So let's repeat another one of the sets from before, alternating single leg. There we go. Ugh. Few more. Ugh. That's sick. Huh. You guys are so spoiled to have this be like your real gym. Oh yeah. Yesterday I worked out at an Anytime Fitness, and it's like it's fine. Yeah. But this completely different realm. Oh, like one more like that, and that'll be it. Yeah, that's enough. Don't think a drop set is necessary. Okay. All right. I think that's enough. Let's find some kind of lighting. Holy freaking crap. It's a real goddamn bodybuilding posing room up in this mofo. As there should be in every gym. Lighting does not just happen. Badass fucking striation revealing vein vein improving, just fucking muscle hyping lighting. That's what I'm aiming for. That's what I want to see. So today ended up being a little bit more of a chill leg day. Hamstrings, not so much. Hamstrings was normal, but I had to back off a touch on quads. I'm used to, so yeah, I think I know what fucking happened. So on the last leg day, I haven't done barbell squats for a while. I've been doing a lot of Smith machine squats. And when I do the Smith squats, I put my feet a little bit further in front of the bar. So my knees don't bend forward over my toes that much. They stay pretty vertical. So doing those barbell squats, I went from like this being the force kind of range of motion, whatever, to something more like this, like knees further out. And I haven't squatted for a while, so that must have tweaked me in just a little bit. Now nothing serious, but it would have done me no good. It would have done me no good to have gone crazy on heavy squats today. Even just doing 2 plates on the Smith machine was a little bit, what's the word I'm thinking of? Well, not ideal. Let's just say that. Let's just say fucking not ideal. So that was the quad pump and hamstrings after just some leg extension, hamstring curl / sissy squats combination work. Ooh. No. I guess this would actually look a little more like this. Oh, but legs done, reasonably stimulated. I wouldn't say annihilated, but that's fine by me. At least for today. You know, if your fucking shoulder is hurting you, maybe don't try to bench the heaviest you've ever gone and really tear your rotator cuffs to shreds. That would be a little bit of a cue to say, maybe we should do a little bit lighter squeezing stuff today. But in either case, I gotta go home and eat. That's one thing that will never change over these next few months. So let's fucking scram. All right, relatively chill leg day. Oh man, I did not do this gym justice. It's giving me revenge. Giving me revenge to come back harder. Come back harder for either chest, arms, back, or shoulders, and all the above. But no fucking badass in there. And that's what I was talking about, man. Exactly what I fucking thought. Gym full of freaks, gym full of insane machines. Dude, you think you know Powerhouse. You think you've been to a Powerhouse gym. Yeah, think again. Go ahead and fucking think again. Oh, they were crazy in there. So, legs are reasonably fatigued. Not, I mean, you definitely did something. Definitely did something. But I do wish I could have done some more heavier squats and whatnot. Man, that kind of sucks. Maybe that's my cue. Sam, don't do any fucking barbell squats. Stick to Smith machine. Stick to hip press, which has been doing you pretty good for the past month and a half or so. So maybe that's the plan. I think the barbell squat is coming off the menu. And that's crazy for me to say. But, well, it's never off the menu. It's never off the menu forever. You know, that's just not even fucking possible. But potentially needs to be replaced with some more Smith machine action, some more leg press stuff that I guess won't freaking smack me in the knees as much. Though I'm excited to come back for chest and anything else. But I'm not joking. The energy in a gym can completely change how your workouts go. So if you've got a cool gym, if you know of a cool gym, if one of your buddies is like, dude, why do you keep using Planet Fitness, man? You got to come down to the Muscle Freak gym. Might be in your best interest, you know, because I wasn't joking when I said not you, but just people in general, were very easy to acclimate. So sure, it might seem a little bit daunting, and honestly, if I put myself in the fucking shoes of a completely beginner lifter to go to jump into a gym like that as as the first beginner gym, that could be a little bit daunting. That could definitely be a little bit daunting. But that's where you gotta have some fucking that's where you gotta have some drive, you gotta have some grit. You gotta say, I'm in the same place as these fucking freaks. And the difference between us is not that they are bigger. Really, there is no difference. Both going as hard as we can. So that's where don't be so I never think it's a good idea to get too into making like comparisons of where you are to where somebody else is, you know, size wise, anything wise, just because these guys have been doing this for fucking 10 plus years longer than you. And I mean, definitely try not to make any crazy comparisons if you're the natural lifter. You know, you got to have a really fucking realistic understanding of what's going on here. You know, that could definitely be a pathway to some body dysmorphia for sure. You know, I mean, that's just the state of things. You know, not good, not bad. That's just how it's rolling. But what I'm trying to say is, if somebody's bigger than you, if somebody is where you want to be in the future and you're not there yet, that does not mean, oh man, that guy's so much better than me and I suck. Oh, I'm putting my pump cover back on. No, man. I mean, I've never thought that way. I I'm not going to say someone couldn't think like that and then get big and use it as motivation. I mean, People get fucking hyped up off of like the most negative thoughts in the fucking world, which I don't think is an awesome move, but you know, it's done. So when I see that situation, if I see somebody who's ahead of the game compared to me, it doesn't fucking discourage me. That gets me extra fucking excited. I mean, look at this fucking picture right here. Look at these fucking guys. They're freaks. Oh my god. These are like the first two guys I see when I walk in the gym. That's not something you get to be around every day. But I didn't look to my left and say, oh my gosh, my shoulders are so small, my arms are so small. Oh. Like, holy fuck, these guys are big. That's where I want to get to, or at least as far as I can go. It just gets you amped up. So that's a little bit tricky of a thing to actually think in your mind because that would mean that you have to, have the patience to wait however long it's going to take to whatever that end result is if you want to get there, and that's hard. It's no kid wants to wait for Christmas, we all want our gifts right away. So that's where I'm not lying to you. Being able to have a long game plan in your mind and being able to actually like wrap your head around and most importantly accept the fact that okay, this is going to take me years to get to where I think I want to be. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be like satisfied with where you are now because I don't think your actual satisfaction with like your lifting journey should ever be related to where you are at any given moment. That's foolish. Because if that were the case, then it's just a fucking never ending game of dissatisfaction. Because if your overarching goal is, okay, I want to get bigger over the next 5 years, if that's your overarching goal and you're constantly unsatisfied with where you are at any given moment, then all that's going to fucking mean is over the course of those fucking 5 years, you're constantly going to be like, oh, I'm not where I want to be. Fuck. Oh, I'm not as big as I want to be. Like shit like that. And that's just not a good way to go about it. So rather than be kind of, you know, locked into, okay, I'm not where I want to be. Damn. All right. I don't think that's an awesome motivator. I think it's a much better state of mind to be able to say, like, all right, I'm doing everything right. I'm on track. I'm making gains. So I'm much more concerned with my trajectory, not my current placement. Is a fucking astronaut upset that he's still on Earth when he's sitting in a rocket ship about to take off? No, because he knows he's going to get there. He knows everything has been set in place and he just has to wait it out. And that's the trickiest part of it all. Because, as quick as you think gains may come, be it fucking through supplementation, through just fucking like, oh, I'm going to lock in this year, through whatever, it's not that fast. These things take a fucking long time to actually obtain, and not only that, it's a slow process. You're watching paint dry. A fucking a a, a bamboo shoot is gonna grow faster than my biceps are gonna fucking grow. So look, it's gonna take a while. So being the guy who can actually be satisfied with the fact that he's making gains and making gains his goal, his fucking end state is it's endless. His fucking potential is limitless. Because to be in a state of movement, to be in a state of like the climb, if that's where you're comfortable, then that's fucking crazy. If somebody's goal was, we're kind of doing a little bit of a throwback to one thing I said a little while ago. The guy who likes walking will go further than a guy who likes the destination, because every destination is just like a fucking endpoint of whatever your trajectory is. So if you can be excited about making gains on a day by day level, and that's the fun part for you, then it's really not even a question of if you're going to get big. I can't stress this enough. If you can lock in the components of your day, training, eating, sleeping, hydration, keeping a clear head so you can actually maintain this routine, if you can get those in order, you're going to make gains. It's not a question of if, it's not a question of luck, it's not a question of like, the right people, or your dad had a lot of gains, so now you get it. Nepotism, apart from the fact that, Somebody with crazy genetics might have gotten that from their parents. I guess that does exist. But it's not something that can be handed to you. But it is something that you can obtain because the framework for getting gains is it's written out clear as day. If you want to if you want to do really anything, it can be done purely because the actual steps to really doing anything is right at your fucking fingertips on your phone, which I think is both a positive and a negative. Because for one thing, if you want to become I mean, fuck, man, for me with all the social media stuff, if you want to become like a well, actually, technically, since this is my job right now, am I a professional photographer? Am I technically a professional videographer? Maybe. But if you want to become skilled in anything, it's you just look it up on YouTube and start watching away. And most of these videos are made to be entertaining anyway. Like if you want to learn how to how to put together computers, or if you want to learn how to code, or if you want to learn how to like do any kind of whatever skill, you can do it. You can look it up. But I think the problem that arises from having everything you could ever fucking want to learn right at your fingertips is that makes it seem like it's not that hard to do. It kind of makes it seem a little uh, less valuable in a sense. So this is a quote which I really love. Not to get like crazy, like motivational in this whole speech and everything, but I really love this quote. You can do anything, but you can't do everything, right? You can do anything, you can't do everything. So what that means, if I wanted to drop everything right now and try to become, uh, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think would be good? What if I dropped everything right now and I wanted to become a an acrobat in O, right? The Las Vegas water show where the guys are doing crazy fucking flips into the water and everything else. I don't see why not. But I mean, that would take fucking years of like practice and like trampoline work and all sorts of random shit and everything else. So if you could make constant improvements at something over time, nothing's going to stop you. Right? So the issue is not necessarily like, okay, do I have the skills and do I have do I have the potential to be able to do this? The potential to be able to do something isn't even like as direct as that may seem. Your potential to do anything isn't necessarily in like, okay, I have the right limb lengths to be a good Olympic weightlifter, or I've got a lot of high twitch, I've got a lot of fast twitch muscle fibers, so that means I'll be a really good sprinter. Or, I think the biggest barrier, which actually determines somebody's potential to get crazy good at something, it's just how locked in can you become and how consistent can you be. It's been said a million times. Getting 1% better at anything daily, that's insane margins. That's absolutely fucking insane. So that's where, at least in the lifting context, right? That's my main thing. But it kind of applies to everything. If you want gains, show up. Showing up is 90% of it. Uh, at least compared to like the general public. Because how many people even fucking work out at all? Not to say that you should want to work out to become better than anybody else, but just looking at it a little bit more objectively, like who has the best kind of physical results fitness wise versus everyone else. 90% of people do not work out on a consistent basis. Am I crazy for saying that? Is the percentage less? I know 50% is definitely too low. It's more than that. But let's say 75. And even that I think is a little bit generous to the fucking, populace. But 75% of people don't even work out at all. So in the grand scheme of gains, what makes it valuable is the fact that not everybody has it. So just by coming to the gym, not having done anything else, but just by coming to the gym on a consistent basis, you just beat 75% of everyone else. And then taking it steps further from there, it's so trivial. Who actually gets enough sleep? 50%. So now if you get enough sleep and you come to the gym, that puts you in the fucking 85th percentile. You actually track your macros. That puts you in the fucking 99th percent. Well, maybe not 99, but that puts you like the 95th percentile. who's actually really training hard and really trying to make legit progress, progressive overload, maximizing their intensity, training like, as close to failure or pushing their sets as hard as they can, and knowing that they're not lying about it. What percentage of people are actually doing everything that it takes to make gains? I know somebody who would say it's the 5%. I've served Rich beyond, but I think it's a much smaller percentage. The guys, I mean, this is where I would, well, maybe not, but let's say I had access to all of Google's, you know, data, which they've collected from everybody's Alexa and from everyone's Siri and from everyone's phone and everything else. If I could compile that array of info and I could find out how many people are actually lifting a lot consistently, they have a weekly routine, they're tracking their macros, they're getting enough rest, they're sleeping enough, they've got a reasonable fucking quality of mind and sort of a toughness to not be deterred by any random life events, which are going to happen. There's no getting around it. Shit is going to fuck with you, and that's just the nature of life. You have to be able to be tough enough to actually take that, keep doing what you're doing because in the long run you want to. What percentage of people are really doing what it takes? And I think if you try to put that number in your head, it's not that many. So that's where I hate when people say like, oh, a 400-pound squat is, you're better than 99, your squat is better than 99.995% of the world's population. And even saying better than is kind of a weird way to go about it. What, 90% of the world doesn't even care about trying to get a 400-pound squat? But what I'm getting at is, if you know you can do more gains-wise, and you know that you want more gains, the only thing stopping you is you. The only thing stopping you from tracking your macros is the fact that you think it's a little bit of a chore and you don't really want to do it yet, which I can totally sympathize with. I understand it. I'm not saying it's easy, but I am saying it's simple. That's my end state there. I love that quote. It's not easy, but it is simple. That's up there with one of my fucking mantras. Plan for tomorrow, chest. Well, just chest. Nothing else to really add into there. But that'll be a fucking nasty lift. Smith machine press guaranteed. Chest press guaranteed. Cable flies guaranteed. And any other bonus movements to be determined. To be freaking determined. So I think we'll just have to find out how that lift goes then. But if you know you should be going to sleep because you have a workout early tomorrow, turn this video off and hit the sack, right? Plug your phone in, put yourself on Do Not Disturb, get your alarm going, and put your bed, or put your phone to bed. So for anybody who I'm talking to there, right, good night, Jamie. Now for everybody else, I don't want to be mean, right? In no way am I trying to bring the hammer down and like dog on you for not doing your cardio, because it doesn't affect my life. It has nothing to do with me, whether you do your 30 minutes of cardio a day or not. But the reason I'm so adamant about it and about everything lifting wise is because I know you're going to enjoy it. This is a situation, well, I mean, maybe not for everybody. Being a fucking total nuthead gym wise, especially to like the level that I'm taking it and all these fucking real crazy guys are taking to it, it's definitely too far. But, whatever. That's just how it is. But I know that it's going to be a fucking positive. So just think about it. Just think about it. And it's not going to, I'm never going to notice. Don't think you're doing your cardio for my approval. I'm probably never going to know that you're doing your cardio. But you will. But you will. Every time I post a little cardio picture on my Instagram, honestly, maybe that's fucking just keeping me in line. And I'm not actually as fucking tough of a lifter. If you're doing your cardio when no one's watching, if you're doing your cardio not for anyone else's approval, but because you know that you should be doing it, that's different. That's a different ball game, and you're going to be a different breed if you manage to get it going. Plus, you're not going to be so winded during your workouts. Your metabolism is going to improve. Your probably not going to be as bloated if that's something you worry about. Your lifts are going to be better because your fucking blood system, flowing system, your literal cardiovascular ability will be higher. And bulking and dieting, your baseline level of leanness will be a lower percentage of body fat. There's only one negative to cardio, and that's on this hand, and that's the fact that you have to do it. But I think that's a pretty fair fucking trade. So I'll end with that. I'll see you tomorrow.